The phrase agile makes different people think of different things. Perhaps you think about a stand-up meeting with a board of to-dos, or you think of some strange meeting called refinement, where you estimate things in a mysterious metric called story points. Or perhaps you've seen somebody recently got a certification online to become a product owner or agile coach. But none of that is really what agile is. In fact, some of it's the complete opposite. The Agile Manifesto lays out just 4 simple values. First, it says to value responding to change over following a plan. This is in contrast to a waterfall methodology where all the planning is done up front. Things don't always go to plan. It's very difficult to predict what will happen even just a few days into a new project. Maybe there will be some unknown difficulty, or maybe something is simpler than expected. Maybe a sale falls through or a new business opportunity is discovered. The idea of planning a roadmap and committing to long-term deadlines is not agile. Agile is about being able to adapt and change course as you learn more about your product throughout its development. Because engineers are human. We don't all solve problems in the same way, and different parts of different problems may have different solutions to different people. Even the same engineer might choose a different solution to the same problem on a different day, and who knows what impact that exact implementation could have on a related feature later on. Agile acknowledges this fact and embraces it. Instead of trying to mitigate the unpredictable nature of software engineering, we make it part of how we work. But just as the code and architecture becomes clearer as you go along, more importantly, so does the problem we're solving. Our industry is fast-moving, and the best businesses outpace their competitors by shifting focus, reacting to changes in the market, or even completely reimagining their product as something different when they see a business opportunity. At the start of a project, no one really knows what the best thing to build would be, which leads us on to our second point, valuing customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Letting the actual users of the product guide the development whilst it's being built, regularly getting feedback from users as you go along. If there's a single customer paying you to build some bespoke software, then regularly communicating with them should be easy. Rather than agreeing a fixed scope of work up front, being agile is about letting the customer realise, actually, now that I've seen what you've built so far, I think it would be much better to have X instead of Y. However, if your product has millions of users, you'll need other ways to get feedback. You could show a prompt to users asking for their opinion, or you could bring together a small focus group of users you can ask directly. A great way to get indirect feedback from a large user base is through experimentation. You can test different versions of your software with different users and monitor which works better. For example, let half of your users see a blue button, while the other half see a purple button, and measure if that changes how often it's clicked. Through feedback and experimentation, you'll learn things about your product, you'll learn more about what your users want, and assuming you're still sticking to the first value, you'll be able to adapt based on what you learn. But to do all this, customers need to actually be using your new features as you build them, which means releasing new versions regularly, which leads on to working software over comprehensive documentation. Using modern continuous integration and continuous delivery techniques means we can get features in front of end users almost as soon as we finish coding them. We can split features into smaller chunks and release them one by one. We can make small changes and see what the customer thinks of them. They might suggest some changes, or come up with a new idea, or they might realise they don't need something that they originally asked for, which will reduce wasted effort. There's no need to spend days writing requirements, analysis, design, and test cases for a feature that never gets built anyway, or one that changes so much that the original documentation is out of date before you're even finished. Being agile is about releasing early and then welcoming changes to requirements. For a brand new product, the focus should be on the minimum viable product, or the MVP, the smallest feature set that can be released to users to validate the whole idea. If an idea isn't going to work, we want to fail fast. We don't want to invest lots of effort designing a huge system only to learn that no one wants it. And if it doesn't fail, then great. And now it's out there, so we'll learn what our users want to help us decide what the next feature should be. The final value is to put individuals and interactions over processes and tools. If there's been a theme running through all of these values, it's that we're all human. Engineers, customers, company management, it's about the people and how we communicate. It's not about having a special process with weekly refinement meetings or defined release cycles. It's not about setting up the perfect workflow in Jira. Those things may emerge from discussions between the people involved, but they're not meant to replace them. No single process works for every team or every customer. So it's about moving away from traditional corporate documentation-driven heavyweight processes and towards something more lightweight that focuses on people and collaboration. Human communication is in fact so important in software that the way we structure our individuals and interactions even shapes the software architecture and the code itself. That's what Conway's law is about, and if you're interested in the human side of software engineering, check out my video on that here. Thanks for watching.